Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am AmalgamAsh, and today I wanted to show you CompanionWulf's Modular Furniture Pack Volume 1 for RPG developer Bakin. This is a paid asset pack that you can get on itch.io, and I will put all the relevant links in the description below. This asset pack is modular, just like a lot of other works created by CompanionWulf, meaning that you can take the parts in the pack, mix and match them, and create many more assets than if you just had static whole pieces of assets. So we're going to go over the itch.io kind of overview here, and then we will take a look at the assets in Bakin and see what they look like in our world. One thing that I wanted to mention before we get started with all of that is the creator of this asset pack, CompanionWulf, shared with me and is comfortable with me sharing here. He's actually going through a hardship right now. Without going into the details or giving too much information, I would really appreciate if you could check out the links in the description below, peruse all of the work that he's created for Smile Game Builder and RPG developer Bakin, see if any of it appeals to your tastes for your project, and if so, please send any kind of support that you can. This is a creator worth supporting. A lot of the times his modular packs have been added onto, so you buy it and then later you end up getting even more assets because of an update. I know right now he's working on a fantasy tavern pack, which is especially exciting to me. There's a lot of ideas behind it that will be going into it. It should be a pretty large pack and so very useful. Also, because he has such a big library of assets, you'll have a lot of stuff that's all visually congruent with one another because you've got the modular market pack and the high-text floor pack, indoor and outdoor, and the modular furniture pack now along with the future tavern pack, and there is more, and it will all visually be very compatible because it's the same creator using the same methods for their assets. So I hope you will join me in supporting this creator, browsing the store, and I'll put other links to things where you can perhaps kindly send a donation or find out other ways to support him. All right, that's as of the time of the recording of this video. So if you are watching in the far future, please also continue to do that stuff that I said. All right, let's get into looking at the itch.io page and check out how this is described. The Modular Furniture Pack Volume 1 for Bakin is structured in such a way that you can mix and match chair, table, and shelf designs. For instance, you can have a pine table with a mahogany center, or an oak chair with a pine center. You can also select a glass center for each. And we can kind of see itch.io gives such low resolution thumbnails. The overview here, it doesn't help that I'm in 4K. That's probably actually the reason why these look so small. But we have different wood types for the tables, and then we have separate centers that can go into the tables, and we have glass as well. And then the same thing for stools, which have slightly raised backs. They actually look nice and comfortable, and you can have the 4 different kinds of wood stool with the 4 different kinds of seat and glass seat as well. Then we've got the shelves, which you can put whatever you want in the shelves. But if you wanted to have different wood shelves as opposed to the outer part of the shelf unit, you can do that, and you can have glass shelves as well. Oh, my mistake. Actually, the first screenshot that we looked at is stools that don't have backs. Then there are stools with raised backs and then tables. The stools did look like tables. All right, so we'll extract the contents of the zip file somewhere on the hard drive, import the models into 3D stamps. To add the middle parts of the chairs, tables, or shelves, you can either use subgraphics, which is recommended, or add them manually on the map and adjust their positions. That is not recommended, but it is doable. To set the glassy texture in materials, set the shader of all those marked with glass to glass. So finally, the contents of this pack are only for use with RPG developer Bakin and cannot be used in or as part of other game engines or programs. That is in the terms of use, and that's fine because these are made for Bakin and the specifications of Bakin. You can use them for commercial projects though. All right, onward to the Bakining. I created a sort of empty, dark, depressing tavern space for this purpose. We've got a stone floor. We have fan favorite Marie equipped with her sub-graphic sword and shield just because. But she feels like having a drink, so let's get her some service. So we're going to go into our resource menu on the left-hand side of the map editor, and then we're going to click on the 3D stamps menu. Here, we're just going to click add. Actually, I think before I do that, I will create a new folder, and that folder will be called Wulf Furniture. And once in the newly revised asset picker, we'll just go to local files. We'll find downloads, the Furniture Volume 1 pack, and here is everything. We're just going to go ahead and import all of the colorful box icons, holding down Shift to select multiples, add and exit. I'll just leave it to add all new. These seem to have imported just fine, but they didn't go into my folder, so I'm going to move them in there now. But I'm just going to leave these with their default cube collisions. No need to get all fancy just right now. If you don't specify a folder for them, they'll be in a folder called Uncategorized, along with all of the other models that you have imported without specifying. All right, so upon first impression, that stool is a really good size. What do you think, Melly? Yeah, that does look like a very appropriately sized stool for this character model in particular. Now, I don't know if these were created with any particular character model in mind. I'm just using a type B character, but if you find that your characters are of a different scale, it is easy enough to scale these assets as you import them to match the scale of your characters. This is why subgraphics are recommended. I just tried to put the middle part into the stool and it did not work out very well. We can absolutely use subgraphics, but I'm just going to drop things right onto the terrain. Select anything that's floating and hit Q and it will drop right down. It'll let gravity affect it just for this map editor. And now we have a fully assembled stool for Marie to sit on. We're going to do the same thing with the raised back stools. If you don't put a seat in the stool, can it double as a toilet? We'll tuck that idea away for later use. I would like to go ahead and put down the glass, but I realize now I'm going to have to follow those instructions to make sure that the engine knows this is supposed to be glass. So we've got it squarely put onto the stool, and now we're going to go do that. Should be easy enough. We're just going to go grab our glass material. I think it'll be this one, chair middle, and it's called has glass in parenthesis. Over on the right-hand side, we are in the materials subfolder, by the way. On the right-hand side, under shader, we'll be able to select from the drop-down. It currently says map. We can change that to glass. That might actually work. Let's just hit OK and find out. It did. It worked perfectly. It was painless. The most painful step is always just the very first one, or even the anticipation just before the first step. Getting into things, knowing that you might fail at something. But we did it. We got a glass seat in the chair, and it was very easy. We'll just select them both, and let's see if I can just group them and then move them around together. And I can. I actually got Melly in that group as well. I'm gonna fix that. There we go. Now, the shelves. This is a pine bookcase. We'll set the oak bookcase right next to it. Very lovely wood grain. Time to see what these shelves are made of. They're made of wood, but all right. And then we'll just grab any of these modular bits. Once again, I'm using the map instead of the subgraphics tool to actually position these the way that I want them. I'm kind of just seeing how easy it could be to position these things. Oh, and they are actually wanting to rest on top, which works great if you're putting seats down on stools, but it doesn't work so great when you're doing shelves. So we'll have to use subgraphics for this particular combination of assets. So back into resources and then 3D stamps, and we're going to affect our pine wood shelf. And so we're going to just turn on subgraphic and add, and the subgraphic is going to be the, I don't want to do pine or else we're not going to get the same effect as if we use something like mahogany. So we'll use mahogany. And just like that, they drop right in perfectly. These assets truly are designed with Bakin in mind. And so, perfect. We don't have to do anything else. We can just hit OK. But while we are here, I'm going to go ahead and grab our mahogany shelf, and I'm going to turn subgraphics on for that and add the glass shelves. Just going to hit add and exit. We'll go into the materials while we are here and go find our middle shelves, and we will change the shader on the right-hand side again to glass for those. Hit OK. And now I should be able to simply select. You can even see the changes reflected in the object selector itself. We can just set that right down. Easy peasy. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and test play our project. A bit blurry due to the depth of field setting that I have, but that's okay. That's actually fine. Everything looks pretty good. Try that again, this time without all of the effects and everything. I can appreciate everything even more now, believe it or not, because I can actually see everything. Once we've established our game universe and we've got these graphics all around and things are foggy by nature and depth of field is gotten used to by the player, that's when we can use that stuff to great effect. But right now, I just want to show these assets off in all of their raw glory. Well, I don't know how raw these actually are. They may have been treated with some sort of chemical to keep the pesticides, to keep the pests out, the termites, wood lice, and whatnot. But anyway, that is it for this asset showcase. I would like to go ahead and have her sit on the stools and things like that, but that sort of thing is easily enough done, and I am unfortunately out of time. So please, as I said, mentioned earlier in the video, check out CompanionWulf's links all in the description below. Send support his way if you can. Definitely a creator worth supporting. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye for now.